Hey guys, and welcome back to Sailing with the Jameses. Last week we wrapped up reprovisioning the boat and topping up with fuel and water, and now we are off. This time we're headed into one of the most remote parts of Australia, the Northern Territory, exploring the wild and beautiful Wessel Islands. In the coming weeks we've got a weather window to cross the Gulf of Carpentaria, so we are island hopping our way towards Nhulunbuy to get in position for the big crossing. Join us for an action-packed adventure, island hopping, croc spotting, getting stalked by croc, overnight passages through the remote northern Australia. Grab a coffee or a beer and let's get sailing. Okay guys, welcome to day 2 of the passage. We're making really good headway and we've entered into Bowen Strait at the moment. So the island behind me is Croker Island, and where we are headed is straight up ahead, right to the left of the dagger board. That's the anchorage we're going to aim for. And we've got really good conditions. It's super sunny, super nice. It's not too cloudy, and the sea state is really nice as well. And plus we popped the staysail out, and the staysail is giving us an extra knot at the moment, and we can point higher with the staysail than the headsail, so that's why we went with that one. But yeah, we're going to be putting the headsail away probably in about 15 minutes, and then we'll be dropping the anchor soon. This morning we are headed across to Croker Island. We're anchored here last night. We're in the Bowen Strait at the moment. Croker is about 250 kilometers northeast of Darwin, and the island's pretty cool. It's about 330 square kilometers, and it's got a residential population of 300 people. So like that's roughly like 1 square kilometer per person. So
plenty of space.
Plenty of space here. It's really neat. We're so remote, but you're not really remote. There's all these communities up here in the Wessels all over the place in dotted areas. So like we are remote in the sense of like no big cities around, not many people, but there are communities, which is so cool. So we're headed ashore now, and we're gonna check out the beach. How do you feel? You excited?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's nice. Nice sandy beach. Go for a walk, stretch the legs.
This island was once home to a pearl farm. These calm waters once shimmered not just with sunlight, but with oysters growing some of Australia's finest pearls. But in 2005, Cyclone Ingrid roared across the area, unleashing its fury on everything in its path. The storm tore through the land, destroying the pearl farm and reshaped the coastline. Now only remnants of the venture still rest along the shore. And we are off. This was our anchorage right over there, and that's where we went ashore this morning. But this has been such a fantastic and interesting anchorage. It's been really great protection. There's reef that was right in front of us, and there's like a fringing reef all along here, and if you've got like polarized sunglasses, you can see the reef just right here. And then when we went ashore, pretty sure we saw 2 crocodiles, one on the far side and one hanging out here. The one hanging out in front of us kept popping up. It was so awesome. Such a big boy. I think about 3 meters, and he was just coming up to the surface and then coming back down. That is when you need to be a little bit more careful, is when they're just sort of hanging around and watching. Such an awesome area. And then they used to use this as pearling. So there's a lot of ex-pearling stuff there. There's the old wharf, there's shells for pearls. It's just such an interesting anchorage. Really good holding, really nice weather. Got beautiful weather today. And yeah, we're just gonna pop out of this pass here, and we're gonna pop on over to the next anchorage. hold the anchor?
If we do this, do we do this?
So we've just finished hauling the pick and we are off. So we were in Malay Bay, which is this one right here, and it's been so lovely here. The bioluminescence at night has been nothing short of spectacular. And then the night sky, because we're not around any sort of major city, any towns, there's no light pollution around. The night sky has been like fantastic. It's been amazing. And I will tell you something about the top end here. It was so hot in Darwin, but like out here we've got the breeze through the boat. We are coming into like summer weather and the wet season up here, but it's cold at night. We got the blanket out. It's cold. The conditions are beautiful. Like, we're really surprised that we're not sweating more. Yeah. Another thing I want to show you guys is that the whole time we've been in this bay, we've been heavily stocked. In the vessels here, there's these things called unmanned boats. They're unmanned. They're only a few feet long. They're completely unmanned, and they just sort of patrol the area. And from my understanding is that they are controlled by one person in a remote room somewhere. But this whole time we've been having the unmanned vessel basically circling, hovering around. He's always been somewhere in the distance. He hasn't gone. But he's just back there. I'll zoom in on him. He's blue. He's got a little mast. It's pretty cool. They do have like a light and a port and a starboard light for nighttime and everything. And they only move at roughly like 1 knot in either direction. But yeah, our little buddy is saying goodbye to our buddy back there. Alright, we're going to be putting a lure out. So we're going to put the hand line out, and then also we're going to be trying out a new lure. So when we were in Darwin, one of our neighbors is a mackerel fisher out of Darwin. Talked to him about what he uses up here, and he told us these and actually gave us one of his lures. It's got quite a few bite marks on it, so it does work, but we're going to be trying out this one. It's a bit different than what we've been using. We've been using the ones with the bibs. Yeah, it's got a nice strong lead on it, and fingers crossed, let's get a Mackie on board. Alright, so we got everything attached. This is our setup. So the hand line is on the hand reel like this. We've got quite a bit of wire, and then at the end of it, a lot of it is the VB cord. So what we do is we just toss this overboard, and I loop this through one of the cleats on board. I don't let it go out by holding it. You just never know if a wave catches the lure and you've got a lot of slack. You can actually get quite a bit of resistance, and it can pull the hand reel from your hands. We've lost one that way, so now always put it through the cleat and let it out that way. I'll show you guys what I mean. Yeah, let's get this one out. Okay, so it's out and past the stern, and we're going to loop it to this cleat. Alright, let me just let it out. So basically this just allows me to loop it back to that plate. If there's any tugs on the line from any waves or the lure being taken or anything like that, you're not being pulled backwards. It's just a bit of a safety thing, and I also have lost one of our really good hand lines overboard that way. This what I'm rolling out right here is VB cord. The black stuff was the wire, and then at the end here where we're coming up to is an inner tube tire. So the inner tube tire has quite a bit of rope. The rope is fully one solid piece, but if a fish takes it, it's got a bit of give, so we won't just rip the hook straight out of the fish's mouth. And this is there because it's all one piece. But that's how we put out the hand lure. And let's hope something jumps on it. At our anchorage just now. This is the Goulburn group, the Goulburns. This is South Goulburn Island, and our anchorage is just straight up ahead. What started out as a really good day turned into an absolute glamour day. We had glass out conditions, and then just right now, like, the wind's just picked up a little bit more, and we've got some white horses, but it's been like spectacular. We've passed so many trichodesmia on the surface of the water. We passed some barges, and now we are anchoring at South Goulburn, and we're anchoring to the left, the north side. There's a barge ramp just over there, and there's a community on the island, so we're just going to be anchoring a little ways off, but on the left side of that barge ramp. And Charlie is back there in the driver's seat. But yeah, this is our anchorage for the night. And we're putting out 30 meters and then the bridle. Awesome. Drop in. Thanks for your help.
Thanks.
All right, that is us. We are all anchored up for the night. The island we anchored at last night is pretty interesting and has such a cool atmosphere and history. South Goulburn Island is home to the Warroo Aboriginal community, which is a small settlement made up of 432 people, and there are 6 languages spoken on the island. And this settlement has a school, health clinic, convenience store, art center, and an airport. And there is year-round air access running with a daily passenger service to Darwin. And there's weekly barge services from Darwin for freight. Around the island is rich fishing grounds, which are teeming with marine life. And this island was an important site during World War II when a radar station was established there to help protect Northern Australia from Japanese air raids. It's so neat that a lot of these islands in this remote area are so full of life, uniqueness, and history. So this is an overnight passage, so the sun is just setting behind us. So today's, where we're headed to is from South Goulburn Island to Cadell Pass, which is Eklo Island in the Wessels. We just put the staysail out a little while ago. That's pushing us on really nicely. It's given us an extra knot of speed. We've just had some dinner And yeah, really conditions are really nice. It's just a really nice day today. Good morning. It is about 1:50 in the morning. We're currently off Cape Stewart. We've got quite a few boats around us at the moment. We've got one off to our port side, a little ways away. We've got one up in front of us slightly off to port, and another one up in front of us slightly off to starboard. And then behind us on the distance we've got a boat as well. Just faintly you can see the light on the horizon. So we've got a few boats around. No one is on AIS. No one's showing up on marine traffic. And I think the one up in front of us on the starboard side is one of the unmanned vessels, because it's got a bit fainter light. The one on the port side is quite large. It's like a really big white light. I'm pretty sure it's a working trawler, and I'm seeing the back deck where they're working and everything. Yeah, we're just heading through. Up ahead is like a shoaly area. We're going to be cut between the island's called Morungala and the mainland. We're going to cut through there. It's pretty shoaly, so it might get a bit more rougher between there as the tide goes, but we're going to cut through there. And that's the barge. This is the barge pathway to like where a lot of barges go, so we might pass a few boats coming through here as we are. Yeah. Been quite nice so far. I had to get the red light because I didn't know if you guys would be able to see me. So we have just entered Cadell Strait, just come around the bend here, and we are headed up through this area there, Cadell Strait. It's roughly 20 nautical miles long, and it's absolutely gorgeous today. So Cadell Strait separates, this is Elcho Island here, it separates Elcho Island from the mainland, and then this is quite shoaly. It's got a lot of sandbars in it. So the tide has just changed. We've just entered to catch the tide through, and also to go through on a rising tide through the strait. This is also a really big like wildlife area. It's said to have lots of fish, lots of crocodiles, and also it's said to have dugongs. And I believe dugongs are like a cousin to the manatee. They're same. I think they're either a manatee or they're a cousin of the manatee. I'm not really sure which, but manatee, dugongs are seen here. So we're keeping our eyes out for dugongs. And then this area is just really rich with history. Back in World War II, this was used to like have huts in it to what they call like spies, to keep an eye on the warships and invaders and everything. So a lot of military history happened here. Yeah, we're just going through now. It's quite beautiful. Also behind us we've got a bushfire in the distance, and there's people on the beach in their tinny, some locals, because on this island, Elcho Island right here, there's a community on there. So there's some people over there having a beach day, and there's also a bushfire going, which is pretty neat. We're so remote, there's people out. You never know where you're going to see people, which is awesome.
So for this route we're going against the trades, and the trades here, they go from east to west. And so what we've been doing is, if you can zoom in on the iPad here, we've been tucking in nice and close. We went inside Croker in the Goulburn group, and the Wessels is an absolutely amazing place to explore. But as we're going against the trades, we're just going through Elcho Pass here. Now what happens with Elcho Pass is the tides, they flow into Arnhem Bay and then out of Arnhem Bay. So we're catching the incoming tide to get to the shallowest point around high tide, and then as it starts to go out, we'll catch that north to our anchor point, which will be here or somewhere around this area tonight. But that's our plan with this passage. The tide has changed. We got here on the low tide, so it can suck us through, be up here on the high tide, and then push us out on the outgoing tide again. The main reason I try and time the tides is because we're not using sails, we're using an engine in here close to the mainland, and that is our iron sail, and is my least favorite sail to use. So I just got it ticking over, sipping the juice, and we'll use the tides to get us through.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but we're just coming up to the tightest point in the passage, literally right now. And just over there, off to our port side, there's rocks and they come all the way out into the water. So this is the tightest point, and we're just going through it. You can see all the choppy water and all the disturbed water. And then back behind us, it's more like smooth. We've got all the chop up there. It's a big old hole here, 33 meters deep. Big one. Up ahead we do have another vessel coming our way. That's the Barg 1 mover. You used to work on that vessel.
I did, yeah.
Sam used to work on it. So it's just coming towards us this way, and we'll pass them in the Cadell Strait. Sam's just spoken to the landing bar just up ahead of us, Barg 1 mover. We're gonna go red to red, and we're also gonna move over slightly in the passage, make some room for them. There she is. We also have another bushfire up ahead on the land. There's smoke coming off. A bit browner than the regular skyline that we have. It's all coming off the land. There's a bushfire up there. But I was just looking at the fishing line. I'm really looking forward to getting back to the East Coast into the Great Barrier Reef and exploring the reef so much. But I've been really enjoying this, leaving the line in. Because here there's no green zones, no nothing, so you can set and forget. So you just put the line out and basically forget it. And if a fish jumps on, that is wonderful. But over on the East Coast, we enter the Great Barrier Reef, which there's a lot of regulations with them. And there's green zones and yellow zones and pink zones and stuff. And so over there, you've got to be more vigilant. So you can put it in, and then when you cross the line, you've got to take it out when you cross a green zone. So it's a lot of in, out, in, out. And I really enjoy just set, forget, and then a fish jumps on. But yeah, I was just looking at it thinking, wow, we're going back to East Coast. It's going to be the green zones again. Just coming out of Cadell Pass now. So we've been through all of this, up through there, and just coming out here. Hitting a bit of swell out there, but Emma's handling it like a champ. After exiting Cadell Pass, we set course for Estelle Island, another remote and beautiful stop along our journey. From Estelle, we continue towards Nullumboy, on the edge of the Gulf of Carpentaria. Thank you so much for coming with us through remote Northern Australia. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us on our adventures every week as we share our journey sailing as a full-time family. A massive shout out to our Patreons. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you are interested in joining the J Crew and getting some awesome perks, consider becoming a member on YouTube to get early access to videos, or follow the link in the first pinned comment to our Patreon account, where there are some awesome benefits and tiers start at just $2 a month. Thank you so much again, and we will see you all same time next week. Bye everyone.